Hello, I'm Dietary, and today I want to talk about health. Normally I don't record videos on this subject, but it's something that I've been always interested in. And but first of all, I want to say that I'm not a physician. I'm just a guy who's 50 years old, and I've been experimenting with various diets. And I've always believed that what we put in our mouths is what either helps us or disables us. And imagine my surprise when I was looking for some books on Amazon.com, and I found this one called "Food is Your Best Medicine" by a doctor called Henry Bieler. This guy was actually practicing a long time ago, and the book was written in 1964. This particular copy was published in, I think, 1982, but it's still offered for sale, and it's the Pioneering Nutrition Classic, and I got it just a couple of months ago for $9.99, I think, at Amazon. But what's great about this is that this guy is an actual physician. I don't trust books or stories on health written by, someone who just claims to know about this. So I'm going to be as close to the facts as possible, but I would just want to say one thing, that my dad, one of the reasons I've been always interested in these kind of things is that my dad was a very healthy and strong man in his youth, and he actually flew Russian jet fighter planes. And when they were just starting, and back in those days, the health requirements for pilots were, they treated them as if they were, spacemen. It was very strict. So this guy, in his 20s, he was really healthy, and he wasn't tall, but I still remember that he was very good with those big Russian dumbbells. They look like a ball with a handle, and we had them in 16 kgs, 24 and 36. So my dad was able to push 136 kg dumbbell with one hand 20 times. I'm not lying. And 36 kgs, that's like 75 pounds, right? I could never do that, even though I was trying to, do my best, but all I could do was maybe move 24 kg thing, maybe, I don't know, 15 times, 20 times. But anyway, so this guy was in his best shape and form, but he smoked all his life, he ate all he wanted, and he had his first heart attack, I think, about 50 years old, and he was dead at 57. And then my mom used to have all kinds of trouble, like liver and heart, and stuff like that. So that's what kind of piqued my interest, and I started playing with all these diets, and I tried like strictly vegan diet, when you eat only raw stuff, and vegetarian. I tried like high protein diet. So, and this is something that I basically just discovered, right? And I've been trying this new fad, you can call it, even though this is like a century old, but I've been trying it maybe just for a couple of weeks, and I really like it. It makes you feel, kind of light on your feet, gives you energy, and that's what I want to briefly describe. So basically, what we are talking about here, but by the way, yeah, find this book, if you wanna be healthy and you don't want to be overpaying for pills and doctor advice, but of course, consult your physician before you follow any of the tips I'm gonna outline here. But basically, what Bieler believed in, that there are two causes of disease. There's viruses and bacteria, and then there's the buildup of toxins inside your body. And that happens when you eat bad food, or food that you were not designed to eat. And he was saying that basically, like, 95% of problems come from wrong nutrition. And that's why he was saying that food is your best medicine. And early in his career, he stopped prescribing drugs, and he started treating people basically with food. And he didn't believe in one particular food recipe or one diet for everybody. What he would do, he would just examine the person. He said that it was all individual, basically all food prescriptions, so to speak, were done on an individual basis, and he would look at the person, stature, build, complexion, and then do a couple of simple tests like urine test that would tell him what kind of toxins the guy or the girl has in his or her body, right? And then he would prescribe a regimen of food that they were to follow, and most of the time people would see relief from their symptoms, pretty much right away. But the actual, recovery might have taken, I don't know, a few months, a year. Some of the cases he describes here took as long as 3 years. But it's all good, and basically the number one enemy that he says we should confront is the well-done meat and fish, something that's been cooked to basically till there's nothing left in there. So let's say you go, to a restaurant and the server asks you, how you want your steak done, rare, medium, well done, right? So Bieler has nothing actually against meat, because he says, and we now know, right, that this was the food we were designed to eat. Like when our bodies were, created by evolution millions of years ago, we were designed to eat, raw meat and raw stuff, like veggies and a little bit of fruit, a little bit of nuts. They had very few sweets in those days, right? But he believes that you should only eat meat either rare, or the best ideal way would be to eat it raw. And actually he himself does not eat any. He did not eat any meat products or fish, but not because he was against it, but because it didn't agree with him. And he says everybody should basically listen to his body, to his or her body, for signs that some particular food is not suitable for this particular individual. Everything is individual. You cannot just take one diet and apply it to everybody and say, hey, this particular diet is good against cancer. And actually here he describes a couple of cases when he was able to cure cancer in a woman just by prescribing a certain regimen of mostly vegetable products. And so he has nothing against meat. It just he says that during the initial cleansing, when you want to get rid of all your symptoms and maybe and toxins, it's best to stay away from meat and fish and stuff like that. But then once your health is back, he says it's not a bad idea, but just eat rare meat, and he was particularly focusing on lamb and beef. So if you have them rare once in a while, he said that was okay. But he didn't believe in strict vegetarianism, because he says that many people that call themselves vegetarians, they actually drink milk and they eat eggs. So there's very few strict followers of the vegetarian theory, and he didn't believe in this. He was saying basically that we should limit consumption of unnatural products, stuff that was brought up by civilization, like salt and sugar, candies, all this artificial stuff, smoked meat, deeply fried meat, anything prepared with cooking oil, because that's what creates, abundance of cholesterol in your body, when it's not just, let's say, fries, which are bad by themselves because it's just starch, right? But when you fry them in an oil, then this highly heated oil totally changes its own characteristics. It might be okay when it's raw, like vegetable oil, right, like olive oil, but once it deeply heated, it's a totally different animal, and that's what causes problems. So stay away from all unnatural and highly processed foods, and at least for a while stay away from animal protein. And that's his advice, and that's what he believed in. And a lot of people, a lot of actually Hollywood actors and actresses followed his guidelines and stayed healthy till the old age. And here in front of me, I just wanted to show that's my whole daily food supply, so to speak. Right? So there's celery, right? There's asparagus, sorry. There's avocado. I love these. You have to be careful with them because 100 grams of avocado, roughly 4 ounces, has 15 grams of fat. So this probably 200 grams, I don't know, like 8 ounces. So, you know, but I try to eat at least one a day because this has lots of fiber. So this is good for your digestion, and of course lots of, you know, vitamins and minerals and stuff like that. Then also I try to eat a couple of apples a day. Again, fiber, vitamins, minerals. And then here we have green beans. I use them in the Bieler's broth, and I'll tell you a recipe just in a second. Then we have zucchini. That's like #1 veggie that Bieler prescribed pretty much to all his patients, you know, like in a group, but it was always there. He was saying that this is like the king of the veggies kingdom. And then we have parsley. And I just mentioned the Bieler's broth, and that was, even though he didn't, he tried to stay away from giving a single recipe for everybody, but in the book he just says it wasn't even his own invention. I mean, the name, he didn't even coin the name. People were calling it by his name, Bieler's broth. And what it is, basically, he said you take zucchini, celery, parsley, and string beans, and you steam them in a steamer. And regarding the veggies, he was recommending to choose only non-starch vegetables like the ones you see here, and either eat them raw or prepare them in a steamer, but you know, just as close to the raw state as possible. And I was experimenting with some other stuff. Now I want to try asparagus, so just to put in a steamer and see. But it's really, I did a couple of this particular, like Bieler's broth, the way he recommends, and it was like really filling, and it doesn't feel too heavy, you know. I like it. And for now I'm just staying away from all protein, all animal protein. And what I do, you can buy this at any big grocery store like Walmart or anything. And what these are egg whites. I don't particularly believe in this free run stuff, but what I'm interested in is that these are just whites. There's no no artificial things in here. If you look at ingredients, it just says egg whites, and that's what I like. And actually, Bieler's position on eggs, he wasn't objecting too much to yolk, but I don't know. Now we know that yolk, that's the bad part of the egg, right? That's where all the cholesterol and fat is. And egg whites is actually, it's like pure protein, no fat, no cholesterol, you know. So this is really great. And but what Bieler was saying about eggs, he was particularly stressing the point that you should never cook egg whites. You know, you should always eat them or drink them raw. And that's what I do. Like once a day I buy this, and you can get this in Canada here under $3. This is half a liter, 500 grams, and this particular baby has 50 grams of pure protein. So just so that I don't go weak on this, you know, all veggie diet with no fish, no beef, no lamb, nothing, I just drink this once a day, just, you know, to stimulate the cleansing of the body, because you do need protein, right? Even though, of course, it's in the beans and stuff like that, but I don't drink any milk. It doesn't agree with me. I don't eat soy. So this is what you see here on the table. This is pretty much what I eat in one day. So no bread, no salt, no coffee, no alcohol. I drink tea, either green, or I buy that, you know, kind of like something you can find at Starbucks, like Zen. There's a tea called Calm, and I love it. You know, something made with herbs, with no caffeine, would be even better. But just keep everything natural, and try it for at least for a week, couple of weeks, and that's how you can help your body cleanse itself. Because of course the major premise of this book is that your body is a self-regulating mechanism. It's like a do-it-yourself repair shop. So if you just create the body certain conditions, stop abusing it at least for a short while, you'll give it a chance to regain health without pills and without doctors. This was Sergey Drachev reviewing the book by Henry Bieler, Food is Your Best Medicine. Stay healthy.